Does anybody else suddenly feel like dancing? If not, we're going to talk about the new dancers that are coming out soon. Greetings and salutations, thank you for coming on back and listening to my sage advice. If you got here by accident, don't worry. There's going to be something exciting we're going to talk about, and it's going to be all of my first impressions on the new dancer banner. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. First up, we got Xander. Now, all of these guys have something special, and he looks pretty sweet. His dance animation is great. These are all dancers. I love his dance animation. So going through his kit, his dagger is the Dusk Uchiwa, and now what this does is that it's effective against cavalry. Now all of these daggers are going to be effective against something and then have the same set of effects, which is it's going to disable any priority switching powers that the other unit has. Basically, it's talking about things like desperation, vantage, things that change the priority of when people get to attack. It's going to change that. So there might be more in the future that come on out, but for the most part, it's pretty much just like the Hardy Bearing Seal that we've had for quite a while, just sort of baked into this weapon. And I really like that. It also has the typical debuff that you would see. Looking at the rest of his kit, his A slot is close counter, so that gives us something interesting to note. And of course, if you just don't like Xander for some reason, yeah, he's great fodder at this point. Taking a look at his B slot, he has quick riposte, more great fodder, but also really implying that he's just as slow as his normal mounted counterpart that we currently have. And then lastly, something very interesting, he has odd defensive wave. This is the first defensive style wave that we have gotten, and I think it's pretty interesting. This just basically implies that he should be able to stand and take whatever comes at him, which is a little bit unique for a dancer. We've had some dancers that could take a hit here and there, but I mean, it's implying that Xander is going to be standing there for the duration of the fight and is going to be able to actually retaliate. So that's pretty interesting. I am eager to see how this actually pans out. Next, we have Elincia, and so beautiful kimono or outfit that she's wearing here. I absolutely love it. Taking a look at what she has, it's Cloud Miyaguri Plus. I forgot to mention she's a green dagger user, so that's pretty cool. And the effective against on this is against dragons. So this is yet another green unit that has an effectiveness against dragons. So I think that's pretty cool. Looking at the rest of her kit, she has attack and speed push, second unit we've ever gotten that has had it. So I think that's pretty interesting. I mean, it sort of just implies to you that she is really a one and done. You go ahead and kill your Naui or your Ninian or your Korin, and you're done. You know, you just sort of keep on dancing people, which is fine. That's a great thing to have an extra bit of utility in your dancers. So I like that a lot, actually. Taking a look at the rest of her kit, she has this really neat buffing skill in the B slot, giving you extra speed and defense, and I think that's a great combination. I have said it several times all over the place. Speed is just as important as defense. Arguably, it is more important, because if you get doubled, it doesn't matter how high a defense you have unless it's above 50. If you don't have that high of a defense, you need to have a really good speed, and so this really caters to getting both. If you factor in her C slot that buffs up resistance with a drive, I think she's an absolutely wonderful support unit, great against the current meta. I'll come back to that in a moment, but she seems perfect for the role of being able to handle special unique dragon cases and then being able to assist the party. Let's go ahead and go to Ryoma. Ryoma is in this banner. That is so darn exciting. I like myself some Ryoma. Let's go ahead and take a look at what he's got. So he has Sky Myogi, which I'm so sorry that I'm butchering these. But regardless, he's a blue dagger user, okay? So that's our third color is blue. And he is effective against armor units. All the other same riders as the other three weapons. This is interesting because at first it makes you think that, hey, maybe he has a really strong attack, something that's actually going to be useful to go against these armor units. Hold that thought. His A skill is Triangle Adept. That alone should tell you what's happening here. Is that he needs to have that Triangle Adept so that he can get the extra 20%. So he's actually useful against the armor. I have emotions that my child man self can't comprehend right now, that range from anger to sadness about how this is being done. It almost makes me wish that they just didn't have it effective against armor. You know, just don't do it. Instead, you have to have triangular depth on there. Oh, I'm not happy. Let's keep going. Now we have chill defense, which is another indicator that we don't have the to do our frickin' job. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm really hope I'm wrong here. But when it comes down to it, it looks like Ryoma is meant to only go up against like Zephiel and Zelgis and Drog. No, I'm sorry, he doesn't start with a Z. Drog. Talking about the rest of his kit real quick, he has a dual spur for a C slot. I guess it's there to help try to protect him from mages or something like that. I guess that's what that's there for. Regardless, Ryoma, what happened? What happened? Oh well. All right, I'm not gonna gripe anymore. Let's go on to our last one, which is Michaiah. This is really cool. So we got, in last year's Dancer banner, we got a blue and a green mage. Now we have a red mage here, and I just think that's super cool. So now this is a tome, so it doesn't have the rider effect of the debuff. However, it's effective against horses and armor, what you would expect from Michaiah, and it also still has the other rider effect where it disables the priority changing abilities, which is really nice. I mean, a really cheap and easy way to upgrade any unit that has distant counter on them is to give them Vantage in the C slot. That gets rid of that shenanigans. That's nice. You can reliably go in there and take care of anybody else that's on the field. It's not going to give you that much of a huge gain, in my opinion, but when it comes down to it, in lower tier arena, which is where you're going to be using these guys most likely, coming back to that point in a moment, same one as the first one I was coming back to, it's perfect, because Vantage is a huge pain in the butt. So that's what we got here. Looking at the rest of her kit, she has attack and resistance bond for her A slot. Pretty cool, I like it, really just sticks with her resistance theme here. She also has a buff for dancing whenever she sings or dances on you, which is pretty cool. It's inheritable on others, and this one goes to attack and resistance. Strong theme for that. And then of course we have resistance ploy as her C slot. So I think it's pretty good. It sort of hints already that it's like, hey, we know that we need just maybe a little bit of help because this is a dancer, and be able to actually hurt the armor units with this type of unit. We need to be able to do that. Let's go ahead and talk about the meta of everything around here. So as we talked about before with the dancer, with dancers prior, they're not going to be like really dominating in arena because of the BST. If you don't know how arena scoring works, there's a link up here for you for a card that talks about arena scoring, but the gist is this: the BST, base stat total of that unit, determines how many points that unit is going to be worth in arena. And all of their BST is going to be lower than what you would expect for pretty much an equivalent unit in any other regard. So they're not going to be making any kind of impact in high tier arena. They're only going to be used in low tier arena. And honestly, I think that they fit super well there. I'm gonna try to collect them anyway because I just absolutely like the dancers. They're new unique units, but when it comes down to it, I mean, no, I'm not gonna be fielding them in arena teams. They're gonna see a lot of use in arena assault, absolutely. They're gonna see some use in some bound hero and legendary hero battles for sure. So they're not useless by any means, but you're gonna find a lot of people that are gonna be coming back to the point that who cares? They're not viable for arena, and that's I sympathize with those people, I really do, because that's the first thing I look at. Arena Assault, I have too many thoughts on that will come later, but that's a slog. But I'm also a whale, so I already have a filled out set of teams. I don't really need anybody else. I'm looking at people that are going to make my arena runs more efficient, especially going into the future where it basically has the crowns and the killage for special units and stuff like that. So I mean, you have those aspects brought into it, and so whenever you're saying, oh well, yeah, you can go ahead and use this cool unit, but you're going to be penalized for it, yeah, no, it's not a good feeling. Overall, without looking at their stats, I'm really happy about all of them except for Ryoma. I am very disappointed with how the skills are implying he's going to be performing, and especially since, I mean, like, he's blue, he's already at a disadvantage against green, and you can't, it's unreasonable to expect a colored unit to be able to have good matchups against the opposing side, and so, you know, that's one of the reasons why Triangle Adept exists. But right now, so many armor units that matter are green. I mean, there's really there's only one that's popular, but there's only one that's red. You see several rotating into the blue slot. I mean, we've always had Effie. Once in a while, no one runs Gwendolyn for some reason, which is a shame. I love mine. You have Harden, which is a beast, but you don't see him too often. And then, of course, you see Crispus Robin because people think he's good. Gonna get comments on that one. But the point is that green is where it's at, and you don't have a way to stop that as an effective against armor, and then the rest of the kit implying that he basically is going to be hitting like a wet noodle, which most, not all, but most rogues do. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? I don't know. Regardless, if you've already foddered off your wall hearts, I bet you're a little bit sad. You could have had a +2 wall heart instead of that. Now you get to keep your Ryoma that has chill defense. But regardless, I'm done beating up on Ryoma. I am sorry, Ryoma. You're still going to stay in my little subscribe icon that I got, but otherwise, that is my impression of this banner. So what do you guys think? Are you excited to see this? Are you just sort of going to give this one a pass? Let me know down in the comments. I want to know who you think is probably the most broken out of the set, because BST and arena scoring aside, dancers tend to enable some of the craziest stuff outside of Gale Force, and so I just want to know, who do you think is probably the most broken out of these four? And do me a favor, if you like your Fire Emblem information hot and fresh like Grandma's cookies, hit that subscribe button. My name is Deltra, and thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate all of you. And until next time, take it easy.